Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. We had a great run as the keeper last time. We have Blue Baby, we're almost at the Lost. This is exciting. We got Blue Baby, Delirium. We have Lilith, Delirium, and then we got the Lost. We also have me closing Twitter, because I think the amazing amount of gifts on Twitter that allow me to share my memes with the populace might also be slowing my computer down. Q8RH2ZCT. Or maybe it's Isaac. I guess that's the alternative, but I don't know. I'm more inclined to blame my own setup, I think. Doctor's remote. So remember, this time, I did say Delirium, right? Because last time we tried this, we went through the whole run, and my dumb face-butt combination, because you're never really sure what you're looking at. You're like, is that his face or is that what he poops from? Was talking about Mega Satan the whole time. So we don't need to worry about a self-sacrifice room. What we need to do is worry about the Hush fight. So we gotta be relatively strong, and if we can make it to the Hush fight, beat the Hush, make it to Delirium, we're in a good spot. So we kind of know how this run should go. Not how it will go, but how it should go. I don't know why I had to think about that. I was like, should we use a bomb or should we use one of our unlimited bombs? And the answer to that question is that it probably does not matter unless we get a different spacebar item, at which point we will probably choose to take that, although Doctor's Remote can be fine. Certainly better than the poop. And gives us a great ability to actually access as many tinted rocks as they might have available for us, and we're gonna need those potentially to take deals with the devil. Dude, we can take deals with the devil. We're not the keeper. Don't you jump. This is actually like, I know Monstro is like a boss that everybody has fought 8,000 times. I have a conspiracy theory about Monstro. And the conspiracy theory is that I'm pretty sure when you fight him on a narrow room, there are patterns that he shoots that are like literally unavoidable. Or at least functionally unavoidable. Like, it would be almost impossible without a little stroke of luck or variance to avoid them all. Could be wrong. Because, I mean, if we distill it down to brass tacks, I'm suggesting that on some of his shots... Yeah, that was one that I kind of think of right there. That did one full heart, too. On some of his shots, I think that there are less than one hitbox worth of space between the shots. Could be wrong, but without the ability to dodge kind of at the margins, I wouldn't say you're destined to take damage, but I think you're more likely to take damage. I think it's in the harder half of boss fights you can have on the first floor. Either way, though. Still doing fine. In theory, we could take a deal with the devil as long as it gives us any amount of HP, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of starved for that standard progression, so I wouldn't mind doing so. We will definitely check that. We will not check that immediately, though. See, that it's very foolish if you think you want to check it now. Absolutely not. What you want to do is go into the self-sacrifice room, then you go check it. And ever since they patched it in to give you charges for doing these rooms, it's been a lot easier to justify it with a spacebar item. Oh, dude, that's pretty good. Don't take the pills, because we've come very close to eating it with some paralysis pills lately. I don't want to use too many bombs, because again, they are fairly precious. But I think we use a bomb on Monstro, and then we get Larry Jr. next, and we probably just try to blow up 2 Larry Jr.'s. Tears upgrade is lovely. Hey! So we still took a hit. We gulped a trinket. I don't think we had a trinket, but at least now we know that gulp exists. Still, this was worth it, I think, for the bombs, but, yeah, it does suck that we took a little hit there. Still technically in the same position for deals with the devil, though. We can only take one that provides us with HP anyway, so if we want to take a nihilistic approach, then that would be the way I would come to terms with that. I think that was relatively astute. We know that we also have a Tears upgrade in our rotation now, so that's worth quite a lot, if we can remember what color it was, which I cannot. Run! Those were coming back for you. 100% odds those are coming back for you. So be careful. You're good. You're good. Seconds, that's extremely lucky. We'll just blow it up. Hopefully get enough resources to maybe buy a spirit heart. Or verp an explosive diarrhea pill, which is not as good as verping a gulp, which is a sentence that makes no sense, or verping a tears upgrade, which of course is amazing, but it's not bad. And if we fight an annoying boss, we can definitely use it there. If we play our cards right, we can use it just as a bomb. So if I find a tinted rock, the game plan is explosive diarrhea right next to the tinted rock, then run through the door as quickly as possible to reset the pill so that it doesn't make any more bombs, but not overly concerned with that right now. I mean, a bomb for a key or a doctor's remote charge for a key is actually pretty good. Probably should have done it, especially since we got a full charge right here, but I'm not sweating it too much. This is where it all matters the most. Don't move, don't move, don't move. Thank you. Probably the wrong room to use explosive diarrhea on, because he's going to be shooting out bombs. We don't really want to make it harder for ourselves to dodge than it needs to be. And he's done anyway. That's the other thing. I don't think you take it yet. We can, it gives you 2 black cards. So Empty Vessel is actually like a 10 out of 10 item is Blue Baby. We have a permanent ability to fly along with the extra survivability. We get the extra HP to go along with it, and we're down to the next floor. Still not quite, I mean, we got the luck too, which is nice, but still not quite fast enough to really be like we're guaranteed to make it to Hush, but the ability to fly helps out a great deal. Still working on getting our damage up there, but honestly, being on an XL floor is going to help out a lot. It also helps us with our odds of getting a deal with the devil on the next floor, because this floor burns off 2 floors of penalty, I think. At least it does if it's the first floor, but I don't know, dude. Look, we're getting into stuff that's probably a little bit above my Isaac weight class here, you know? I'm really the guy who, when it comes down to it, I'm not saying I'm the best in the world at it, because that would be ridiculous, but the thing that I am best at is not Isaac knowledge. It's essentially, hey, this thing's coming in here, let's dodge it and not get hit. Less is it, well, if we pick this up, it makes our rate of fire decrease by blah blah, but it also gives us a plus 0.1% repeating, of course, of getting this trinket in the future. So, I mean, I shouldn't even use that voice, because that's insulting to my colleagues in the industry who are substantially better at this game than me. Plus, I just dodged into 2 enemies that I should not have dodged into. So, essentially, you reap what you sow. I don't like to challenge the gods of irony, because they usually end up taking the win over me. We've come up with this conundrum many times, and I still, to this day, I'm not sure if I've come to a solution. Is that the item? That was a hunch that ended up being very stupid. Is the razor blade, not the razor blade, but the poisoned apple or whatever, trick or treat, is that the item you end up going, yeah, that's where we want to stop? It's a small rate of fire upgrade and the occasional piercing shot. You know what happened is I read an article once, or like, maybe it was on the Isaac subreddit, and it was like, just felt like it could be. It was like the #1 item in Afterbirth Plus. This, Trick or Treat. So I said to myself, hey, you don't need to memorize what Trick or Treat does. Just remember that one website said that it was like the #1 item added in Afterbirth Plus. So now whenever I see it, I'm like, duh, you gotta pick it up. It's the #1 item in Afterbirth Plus. Then when I pick it up, I'm like, maybe we should have gone a little deeper. Maybe we should have looked for, something a little bit more transformative, because this is like, it's not bad, but I'm not sure it really brings the heat. Not in the same sense that we need it, at least. So obviously, not really killing it on HP. Could use a little bit more in that department. Thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you, Epic Games Launcher, for downloading something and then launching. Because, you know, I mean, this is a false dilemma. But when I'm playing another video game, the first thing I think of is, I'd rather be playing Fortnite right now. Look, I got nothing against Fortnite. I railed on Fortnite pretty hard when it first, when the Battle Royale first came out. Pyromaniac is lovely here, by the way. And then I played more of it and was like, you know what? I get it. The gunplay, I feel like, is not as good as PUBG, but the overall game loop is in many ways more satisfying if that's what you're looking for. I think it's a completely, like, acceptable addition to the genre. That being said, I'm playing Isaac right now. So if you could sit yourself down and freaking acquiesce, that would be for the best, I think. No spirit hearts, huh? Well, we got issues. The run is decent, and Pyromaniac is lovely, although I will admit, in the same way that Empty Vessel is particularly good as Blue Baby, Pyromaniac is probably never worse than when you're Blue Baby. Still good, it gives you immunity to explosions and 5 bombs, but you're never gonna generate HP off of it, which is one of the principal strengths of it. So I'm still very happy to have it, but it's not quite the, like, 11 out of 10 that it is when you're playing as a lot of characters, so rest assured, I'm not looking to gift horse in the mouth in that department. You know what would be an actual amazing item right now is the virus. Normally, like a 7 would become a 17 if we were able to pick it up. Because with Empty Vessel, we run into enemies, they get poisoned. It gives them, you know, like a 10% chance to drop a Demon Heart or something, but that adds up. Especially in a situation like this where HP is, like, sincerely of the essence. There's only 3 of these guys, and then we got 2 boss fights. I'm optimistic about our chances for a couple of reasons. First one is you walk in here, not a lovely boss, but oh, there's a tinted rock. You madman. It's small rock. That's still really good though. I'm like torn between being angry and also being extremely pleased. So I want to kill the first phase of the Frail. And then I want to... No! We were just about to experience greatness. I'm going to restart right away. So honestly, I don't feel that bad about that one. 637M334S. We did what you're supposed to do on a Blue Baby run to try to make it work. You know, we tried to buy Spirit Hearts. They didn't exist. You should never do this. Didn't get penalized, but still. So I take kind of like a zen approach to Isaac runs at this point in my life, you know? Especially because we just had such runs that had narrow win conditions. Like, for at least me to feel satisfied in the win. Now I'm like, dude, as long as we're still, having fun, that's the important thing. Sure, we could have played better and won that run. And we did have a lot of stuff that was working out in our favor, but... that was not a 10 out of 10 run that got thrown away. Took a little bit of damage we probably shouldn't have taken, but not enough to be mad about. Before we fight the boss, let's go peep our other room here. Maybe people would prefer that it was the other way. Maybe people would, and I'm not even being like, you know, sometimes people are like, I anticipate this criticism, so I'm gonna get out in front of it by making the it's like an 8th grade English class technique. It's like, make a counter argument and then rebut it without the other person that would have made the counter argument being able to rebut it, you know, because they're probably gonna do a better job. Like, well, while many people would say that school uniforms are expensive, and not all families would have the money to purchase them, having one change of clothes that you bring to school every day would actually save you hundreds of dollars over your wardrobe, blah, blah, you get the idea. Maybe people would prefer I had more of an Isaac killer instinct, but I don't know. Now I kind of, like, I take, like, an Otis Redding sitting at the dock of the bay approach, personally. I'm like, you know, we're gonna be here tomorrow. It's not like I'm in danger of having 3 bad Isaac runs in a row and being like, that's it! We're canceling the series. So I want every run to win, and I go into every run, you know, with the intention of creating a victory out of it, one way or the other. But if a couple of things go wrong, you know, I think it's a healthier attitude for life. I'm a 28-year-old dude who plays video games on the internet, and my doctor is concerned about my blood pressure. So I can't be in the business of getting too angry about making mistakes in Isaac all the time. I already spend 9 hours a week getting furious about the order that people put ingredients on their sandwich, you know? I don't want to die, you know, at the age of 45, and they'll be like, why did he die? And they, oh, he was yelling on the internet about the wrong kind of rune in Isaac. That just seems like an insult to my ancestors, basically. So I'm kind of trying to mellow out a little bit. You know, practice some, like, I was going to say practice some active meditation, but I don't have the patience for that, to be honest. I'm not a meditator. I know a lot of people stand by it. It's not like I've had people come up to me and be like, you've got to meditate. But, you know, I know a lot of people are into yoga, meditation. Maybe if I tried it, it'd be the sort of thing that appeals to me, but I don't know. I like to move. I don't mean, like, you know, in a physical sense. I mean, like, I like to stay active. And every time I phrase this, it becomes more insulting. I'm not saying yoga or meditation is not, and I know they're two different things as well. I'm not saying it's not active, but, like, I get stir crazy. If I'm sitting still for any length of time and I have control, like I could move theoretically, it doesn't feel right. Like on an airplane, I'm like, sit down and watch a movie. There's nothing you can do unless you want to, like, jump out. But if we ever encounter, like, a stretch of time where it's like, just sit down and relax for a little bit. I'm like, nah, I relax when I'm doing work. Sitting down does not relax me. It just makes me think I got Angular homework I gotta do and I can't figure out how to, you know, get the NG model bound for a nested component in a, okay, DAE. Don't take it yet. Doesn't matter too much, but don't take it yet. That's beautiful. I think you re-roll it. Yeah, I stand by this. Even though experimental treatment could have been good, we got the Spirit Heart back out of Latchkey, and now we can come in here, buy a 3-cent Spirit Heart. You know, I'm going to buy a 5-cent card as well. I got a good feeling about it. I'm okay with that. That's curse room access for half a Spirit Heart. And then I don't really want to take the pill. That seems dicey. We also got our 2 keys, which allows us to come in here, and the items ended up being, like, pretty poor. Well, yes and no. We got a Spirit Heart, a Fool card, and Black Beam. And then another Spirit Heart and a Luck Upgrade as a result of Latchkey. If you want to take it in aggregate, that's how you would do it. I think that's pretty good. I think it's better than experimental treatment unless we got, like, tons of pluses. So I may Fool card right away here. Key, please. No key. Pill. Health down. Bad, but not so bad as to be, like, horrible. I don't think we can open the golden chest without having to go back. Well, I was gonna say, at least we know it's not a health down. I don't think we can go back for that golden chest without having to fight the room, so that'll be our lowest priority key for sure. But if the mood strikes me, it might be the right time regardless. What's better here? A chest or a secret room and 2 mushrooms? I'm gonna be honest, probably the chest. Because, well, we missed the mushroom to begin with, but also the chest could have bombs in it that could self-propagate, but there you go. So we'll probably wait it out for one more bomb. That way we can access our item room. It doesn't matter. I think I get into this, like, sunk cost fallacy in Isaac sometimes where I'm like, it's always better to use 2 bombs. And now that we have bombs, it probably actually is, but you know, if it comes down to it, if it's a bomb or a key, you should probably just take, or you should probably just use whichever one you have more of. Although in this case, I'm going to use a bomb because we could get another benefit out of it here. Sort of worked. Cool. Pisces is a modest tears upgrade combined with an annoying knockback. I've heard some people suggest that knockback is a pretty important tier stat in Isaac. Oh, that was just walk right onto the creep. Green means walk, right? I think depending on your playstyle, that might actually be true, but I prefer enemies to stay in the spot that they were where I hit them last. It matters more as your rate of fire increases, I think, because the shots are going to land closer, but so, what's my barometer on this run right now? What's my... Oh, dude, absolutely. So here's what you do. Because this room, ideally I would buy everything on this shop. We broke even, except for our donation machine. I think you start with there's options, and you hope to get 2 more cents to pick up the Spirit Heart, and you also potentially hope to get starter deck as well. I know we have a deal with the devil fast approaching. So, what I was gonna say, by the way, before we found that shop that contained, like, every consumable I'd ever wanted. How do I feel about this run? Statistically, it's okay, and it's made to look... It's a run that's definitely better than it looks, is what I'll say. This could incentivize a deal with the devil, the health down pill. The reason comes down to one item, Deadeye. You know, the more shots we land, the better our damage looks. So right now, you know, you look at the base stats and you go 3.67 damage, that's nothing to write home about. Very true. In fact, that 3.67 damage, even with the 7 rate of fire, pretty bad as you get later and later into the game. However, 3.67 damage that, like, goes up to 7 damage in less than 2 seconds is actually very good. Most of the time, we're gonna have some damage bonus from dead shots, so we shouldn't act like this is a 3 point whatever damage run, in my opinion. But I would love to up our base stats. Ugh. I think you take Pentagram. It doesn't enable deal with the devil action. However, it does just give you the damage you want to begin with, and our deal with the devil kind of sucks. So, I stand by this. I think I don't care about our Spirit Heart back there as much now. So we'll just move on. Keep ourselves going, you know, keep the pace high. I love the idea of a room there, like a capital R room. Allows us to pick up maybe 3 Spirit Hearts. We're so far ahead of schedule right now. We're like a minute and a half. And trending upwards, potentially. That I think we should take the time to do this room. This is a lowercase r room. Capital R room is like an Isaac's room. Messy or clean. Is the way that you're making me feel tonight. And no! I don't want to cry on today's episode. If you really want to cry, think about the fact that it'll be 20 years before Kingdom Hearts 3 actually comes out. Hi-oh! Don't you put that evil on us. Ryan, don't you do it. I'm being a poser. I played Kingdom Hearts 1. All the way through. And, you know, that's how I know the words to Simple and Clean by Utada Hikaru. Because I was 13. And, not to say that it wouldn't have moved me if I was not at that young age, but it was probably part of the reason. But I did not play Kingdom Hearts 2. Because by that point, I was like, I only play cool games like Stuntman. You know, if you really pressed me, I think Stuntman's gonna have a longer tail effect on the industry than Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, so what I did was I just dismissed Kingdom Hearts because I liked it when I was 13. And I don't think that's fair. I read the headline of an interesting article, because I'm everything wrong with today's modern media. And it was like, why do things that we love as children remain eternally venerated in our eyes? Things that we love as teenagers get, like, denigrated. And the example that they used, at least in the headline, was Garden State. And I was like, you know what? I'm literally 100% the person that you're targeting this article at. Because I have made fun of Garden State on the NLSS so many times. It was actually, like, probably my favorite or second favorite movie. Oh, we should have obviously picked this up first, but this is extremely good. When I was in early college and also, you know, late high school. Because by the time I got to late college, I was like, actually, I really think the 45-minute-long Canadian experimental film Wavelength, where you just look at a freaking room for 45 minutes and at one point a telephone rings, is probably the height of cinema. But, yeah, I was like, really, really a fan of Garden State. And then when I got older, I was like, this is saccharine nonsense. But it's true that as a kid, I liked, like, Fern Gully or something. And I get older, I'm like, don't you dare talk badly about Fern Gully. That game is, or that movie is innocent. I think there's something, and some of you may be resonating with what I'm saying. Some of you may be of the right age to resonate with what I'm saying and disagree, and that's fine as well. I'm not suggesting I got the only, you know, default opinion here. But some of you might be a little bit on the young side to really understand that. Like, if you're 15, 16, 17 right now, I don't know if you've gone through that. I hesitate to say the word evolution because it comes with, like, kind of a context that I'm older than you and therefore better, which is not what I mean at all. I mean, maybe I'm thinking it. That's a joke. Or is it? But I think there's something to be said about that, you know? Like, you know, I think when you're going through your teenage years, you're kind of trying to find yourself. Do we want the health down? It's possible. And then, you know, you're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you're going to be like, I'm a punk. And then a year later, you're going to be like, that's embarrassing. So there's definitely a time where I was like, you know, Zach Braff in Garden State is the kind of guy I want to be, I guess. And then when I got older, I was like, that's stupid. And as a result, I hate that movie. But that might not be fair. I only hate it because I loved it so much when it first came out. Now, some of the movies that I loved, that I watched then remain immortalized. I mean, when people ask me, you know, what's your favorite movie of all time? I got a lot of movies, you know, that could fit the bill, depending on who's asking. Like, I love Aliens. Absolutely. I love, well, it's kind of cheating to some extent, but I love a lot of Quentin Tarantino films. I think Pulp Fiction is an amazing movie. Inglourious Bastards, I think, is an incredible film. But my number one answer for a long time has been Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I think I would stick by it. There have been times where I think, you know, adaptation is better. I did not really care for Schenectady, New York, even though I was such a hipster at the time that I saw it in theaters in my little college town. Huge fan of Rushmore as well, but you know, not every movie that I loved at that era has now become what's the word? Not persona non grata. Is it verboten? That's not really a good word for this either, but you get the idea. I'm just curious, you know, we're kind of entering into a Nick discourse here. You know, I mean that with no disrespect, Nicholas, but I'm interested to know what people think, you know? You feel the same way? Have you rejected the media influences that you fell in love with as a teenager? Or perhaps, on the alternative side, you find yourself loving them even more as you get older. I do not know. What I do know is that Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, 10 out of 10. Rushmore, still a 10 out of 10. Depths 1. We got time, so I think I'm going to peep this mob trap room, but if it doesn't have special chests, I'll probably just book it. Remember, we're still trying to make it to the Hush fight. Garden State, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I can even watch it with a respectful eye anymore. I don't, or an objective eye. I think it's been too colorized by, you know, when I watched it for the first time and how I've reacted since. I do not know. Excuse me, sir. Now, this is a regular secret room. 2 keys. I was hoping for, like, Black Lotus, but I guess that's not really too reasonable. Just give me the best item that exists, please. Kind of want to save some bombs for, like, opening stuff in here, and also, tinted rocks that may or may not show up in the future. So, we've already been to the shop. Was it a greed shop? We're kind of cruising, so I haven't really been paying close enough attention to what's been going on. Like, I don't remember what was in the shop. Essentially, we have car battery Guppy's head right now because of the fishtail, so. Although our damage is not exceptional at all times, it's usually pretty darn good. We want to be out of here by 16 minutes or so. I think we're going to be around that level. We've got enough HP to take a deal with the devil. We've already fought Krampus. So we should be expecting, not a guaranteed good item, but a decent chance of picking up something that could be very beneficial. Good, keep it up. And since we still have one more floor, we do still have a shop remaining that may indeed have greed, but hopefully does not. For many reasons, one of which being that I'd like to, you know, donate if possible. We've got a long way to go to get to Delirium, by the way. Like, I would really like, it's like trying to build like a Stanley Cup contending NHL team or something. We got great offense. We're like the Dallas Stars right now. But, you know, what do we need if we're going to compete down the stretch, I think we need to pick up, like, a genuine top 4 defenseman, which in this case would be like Gimpy. You know, Dark Bum, something along those lines. Something that allows us to generate Spirit Hearts, or alternatively, maybe, you know, we can make a bold play for Chris Tanev or something like that, get a shutdown defenseman like the Wafer, that causes us to take less damage to begin with. One of the two. That's a reference that is not going to be that inclusive, but it's my video, so you know what? I mean, if you were a real fan, you would just start watching the NHL to understand all of my references, obviously. This is tough, because I literally just asked for what they gave me here, but I'm not going to take it because I don't want to give up my Guppy's head synergy here. And it really is a synergy, as much as... Oh, jeez. No! It really is a synergy. You know, we're getting 6 flies per room. Those flies are doing, you know, quite a lot of damage ever since we got Magic Mush on the last boss, which was... I didn't even talk about it because I immediately started naysaying the deal with the devil, but it is actually like 10 out of 10 and by far the best thing we got on the last floor. But I do still think we need a defensive item to carry us. Don't let the fact that I've taken some damage here distract you from the fact that this is a great run. The floor has had just some annoyances so far. In particular, I hate this room, dude. You know what else we need? And I am a little embarrassed I hadn't even noticed it until now. We need piercing shots, or would love to get them at least. Sure. Because otherwise, our shielded tiers are going to be almost a detriment. Well, that's not really fair. I was going to say they're going to be a detriment to fighting a lot of these bullet hell bosses. They're actually going to be very beneficial from a defensive standpoint. Just offensively, they're going to be a little annoying. But this is good. You know, we're still cruising along here. And now, why would you do that room if you wanted to finish this run quickly? I don't want to finish the run quickly. We don't even need to make boss rush. I was just moving quickly so that I guaranteed we would make it to the Hush fight, which so far is looking pretty solid. Shouldn't have used that. Again, could be paralysis. I'm kind of just holding on to this health down pill as the most situational Hierophant card ever made. Wow. A Spirit Heart actually dropped from the ether. That hasn't happened in a while. So I think, we're really... Let me outline a couple of dream scenarios for you. The shop gives us, like, blank card Hierophant. The shop gives us a reroll machine and Spirit Hearts, and we can buy many. The shop gives us restock. You know, there's a lot of pretty good options here. The shop gives us Super Greed. You might have said, NL, you forgot about that one. Oh, did I? Did I forget about that one, or is it actually just bad? Clearly not what I asked for. Wait a minute. I was just gonna ask where's Empty Vessel. Then I realized that was the run we died on. Good stuff. Doesn't matter what you take, right? Yeah, you're good. So take the Polaroid, very good. Take this to give yourself the Guppy Dream. And in here. Booger Tears are pretty solid. Actually, a lot of this is pretty great. So I am going to take Booger Tears. And you're going to go, NL, you fool. You absolute moron. And you may be correct. But I think Booger Tears, Shielded Tears is A, a cool synergy. This isn't a skill testing question. This is just the dang truth. A cool synergy. B, very, very good, especially maybe with Deadshot. So, it's not for zaniness' sake. This is like... actually a synergy I think could be great. Does it slow us down to the point where we might not be able to make it to the Hush fight? Potentially. And I would feel bad if that were the case, but I think the synergy is fun enough to kind of make up for it. I'm also a little worried about our HP, if I'm being straight up with you, but... my hope is that, you know, we don't really have to get too down and dirty here. Need some shot speed, man. He exploded there. I was very confused. I was like, what exploded? He exploded. And as you can see, like, against a single target, we have, like, an indescribable amount of damage. Nothing can conceivably stand in our way if we decide that we want it to die. Where things become risky is when we get multiple enemies. So this guy's done. But if we can ever stack up, like, 7 or 8 shots, you're done. You're melted. There's nothing that could stand in my way. The only thing that can kill us here is timing, I think. So I'm also kind of like desperately... Desperate is not the right word. We've had desperate runs. This is not one of them necessarily. We're eagerly searching for more guppy items as well. Dude, there is nothing more beautiful than a naked woman holding a gun. That's not me. That's Michael Clark Duncan, R.I.P., from the best Matthew Perry film of all time, The Whole 9 Yards. I really was waiting for them to make 69 of the, or 60 of those movies. See, I ruined my own punchline. The whole 69 yards. Get it? Because it's the intercourse number. Anyway, it's going extremely well. I'm hoping for more guppy items, is what I was going to say. We're not going to get any from this, because it's... maybe, I don't know. What's the item pool like for boss rush? I thought it was only boss items, but I might be mistaken. We don't do it often enough to, I think, really derive any sort of truth about it. It's going to be like Skolex or something? Yeah. The Frail. I'm surprised I actually remembered its name. Okay, so you gotta go. And then we can deal with, you know, this other enemy here. Because you are both annoying. Whoa! Without any form of mapping, I'm mildly concerned about our timing. But, I mean, if we make it by 25 minutes, our damage is pretty great. I think we got an okay chance of making it. This run is actually very good. It took coming to boss rush for me to realize how good it was, I think. Because previously I was just like, you know, it's probably like an 8. But now I'm like, this is like an 11. To be fair, it's actually one guppy item away from being an 11, but it's pretty close. Mostly because of this sick booger tears synergy. That actually means that I can just, like, I've got, like, a passive income against enemies. There we go. Out of these two items, we'll take Angry Fly, but they are both not great. So in the whole scheme of things, we spent, like, 3 minutes there, and we, oh, and we got XL, so we're definitely gonna make the Hush fight. Now, the run becomes a little bit more interesting, because essentially it's just, can you beat Hush and Delirium? Really, the first step is, can you beat Hush with enough HP to survive the Void Floor? Which predominantly comes down to, can you survive Delirium? Couple of things would be really good right now. Ability to fly is one of them. Becoming Guppy would be another. You may perhaps notice that, you know, if we get one Guppy item, both of those goals would be accomplished. That is indeed the case. Which is why I would love to see it. Take the key. You might need it. I don't know why I did it in that voice. You might need it. You better start believing in ghost stories. You're in one. Sorry, Austin. I really liked what Austin, he brings a lot of candor to the table during the LSS, you know, unashamed honesty. In Fibbage, where he said, you know, the movie that scared him the most as a kid was Pirates of the Caribbean. Ooh, Pirates of the Caribbean? Sure, whatever, you got me, okay? It's funny. It just goes to show you, dude, kids are, like, irrational. Highly irrational, which is rare in a human being over a certain age, so, well, maybe not. I haven't read enough Malcolm Gladwell books to say for certain. But I saw Pirates of the Caribbean when I was like 14. Oh, we definitely want this. Please? Please? Okay, that's actually maybe great on the next floor, but I don't know, do I want to lose the health upgrade? It's probably worth it to give us a guppy shot. And I was like, wow, what a fun movie. It was like the first Pirates of the Caribbean. You might be cynical to Pirates of the Caribbean now. I know I am. But when Pirates of the Caribbean 1 came out, I was like, they made a movie based on the roller coaster, and it's good. And I'll admit, like everybody else at the time, I was like, this is a transformative role for Johnny Depp. You have to. You can't not take Incubus there. It also allows us to get an immediate refund. Now, the rest of the movies, have they been bad? Yeah, mostly. I know you're going to say, oh, the second one's not... Okay, sure. Maybe whatever. Who cares? But as a kid, you know what movie scared the crap out of me? I think it might even be more embarrassing than Pirates of the Caribbean. Hematemesis. So close to greatness. It was Independence Day. I know you're going to say, how did Independence Day rattle you? Well, it's actually quite simple. I was like 8 when I saw... that would have been great to use on the next room. Oh, you gotta go Holy Mantle here. If we live, that's so good. And probably Metal Plate to deflect some shots. Then you Joker and just see if... you had to see if there's a guppy item. Even Spirit Arts would be good, but... yeah, and I was... it's not a scary movie. I've seen it as an adult. It's just cheesy. And it wasn't even like, oh, it was scary for the time. No, it wasn't. It was just like an action movie with aliens. But as a kid, I was like, those aliens are going to come to Earth and they're going to destroy us. As an adult, I just want to go back and talk to child me and be like, so even if there were aliens out there and they came to Earth to kill us, you wouldn't feel anything. You'd just be dead. We can't stop them. See, like, it's the existential dread that comes with being an adult. It's just like, yeah, maybe there's aliens out there that want to kill us. If they ever got here, they'd be so technologically advanced relative to us that we would just be, our entire species would be like evaporated in a single infinitesimal instant. So there's nothing to really be afraid. Just eat your Cheerios, you know? Have fun. That could happen over the course of recording this video. A malevolent alien species could just be like, sweet, resources. Hey, thanks for civilization. We got it from here. Give us your carbon, you know? I hope it doesn't, because, like, this is a good one. I'm thinking the ad revenue could be transformative, but... so we got a great run here. As you've noticed, I complained about shielded tiers versus bullet spongy enemies, but in actuality, now that we've got booger tiers, the Hush can't do anything to us. Delirium's gonna be a little different, because he always, like, he takes forms that jump around, and he can, you know, teleport and stuff like that, so I don't think booger tiers are gonna last very long against Delirium, but it is a great kind of, like, proof of concept for this run, that we beat the Hush in, like, 2 minutes. So, I do, more than I originally thought, I like our odds against Delirium here. And I think, to toot my own horn a little bit, it mostly comes down to Boss Rush having been great. You know, the booger tiers are... it was a decision that didn't look like it made much sense. And then all of a sudden, you know, here we are. Maybe it did look like it made some sense. So what are we looking for? We have Rune Bag. Rune Bag is great. We want an Algiz to fight the boss. How did you not die with death? That is offensive to me. We want an Algiz to fight the boss. I wouldn't mind a Dagaz and an Onsus in that order so that we can actually, you know, I think it's pretty obvious, but see where we're going. And of course now, I mean, on this floor, sorry buddy, on this floor, you can, oh, you're gonna blow up. Yeah. Not that we would have played you regardless, because it's not the right run for that, but, AWAS. We can get guppy items, is what I was trying to say, but I was trying to put, like, a little decoration on it, for whatever reason. We can now get guppy items, that's the important thing. from our bosses. That might honestly lead to us having a little bit of a conundrum. Because do we want to get 9 lives? I would say the answer is probably no right now. But if we get like a Hierophant card or something, who knows? What is this again? Hematemesis? Doesn't do anything for us unless we get Dark Bum. Whereas the tower is like potentially a good room clearer, especially if we've like already killed most of the enemies and have Holy Mantle remaining. We're unlikely to get hit by 2 bombs. It's going very well. Yera. Tears up. Great. Could have Yera'd the Tears up. Perks is what we want, actually. So, that in and of itself essentially doubles our HP. I would rather have Algiz, but this is up there. Other 10 out of 10 items, Hive Mind would be incredible. Knowing Isaac, and this is not to say, like, oh, please have sympathy for me, but knowing Isaac, I would actually expect some range upgrades over anything else. But we'll see. Maybe we'll be on the side of luck this time. This is good, dude. We got mapping to some extent. At least we can see where we're going, is what I mean to suggest. First item is going to be definitely Attack Fly. One day we're going to have to pick up Plan C, but today is not that day. Still my vote for, like, most needless item in the game. Blank Rune. It's AWAS, but it gave us another Blank Rune. We do use Joker, because we want to see. If there's Guppy, we take it. Even... Ooh, that's tight, dude. I think you say no to Maw of the Void. And it brings me very little pleasure to do that. Because I think it's a great item, but I just think it's... Oh, that was Algiz, unfortunately. But we can't afford to take a Blank Rune in to our boss fight. And then, like, oh, surprise, it's Bracano. So... we have to stick with what we know, which in this case is perks. Sure, we might have been able to get more black cards out of it, but I think the... Oh, there we go. I think the risk is just too great. The risk of it taking our HP and then we die before we can really recoup our investment. Like I said, earlier in the run, 100% I think we would have been okay with taking Maw of the Void. More than okay, we would have been happy to take it. Now, it's just a little... Like, we already have such a good chance of winning that anything that rocks the boat is, like... It's tough to sell. Well, I guess, you know... if we ever want to go back, there is another Joker card. Kind of amazing we couldn't get a third Guppy out of this, but... I don't know, dude. We might be better off using perks than using an Algiz rune at this point. Mama Mega is gonna kill most rooms, and we don't have to get rid of Guppy's head to make it work. So that's, you know, the bosses it's not gonna be perfect against, but it'll hurt them at least a little bit. It's like having a passive version of the Tick. We will take Black Candle, I think, here. Just stacking up enough HP to be a better spot. Look at that, we already got 1 HP out of Mama Mega as well. I didn't even think about that. The guys. Which we probably should Yera, but... you know, to thine own self be true. Both of these are bad. I think we'll take Butt Bombs. Already used Ansus, but that's okay. This should not... Oh, it is Delirium. I actually thought there was like a 0% chance it would be Delirium. So we should be good. I don't expect it to be fast, necessarily, because, again, the Booger Tears are going to get refreshed, like, or purged all the time, but I do expect it to be relatively safe. As long as we at least make some effort to dodge. I forgot we have permanent Polaroid invincibility as well. As long as we make some effort to dodge, I don't see us getting into too delicate of a position here. Very nice when he switches forms and yet still has all the boogers attached. It's great news. I mean, we've been hit once. Well, technically twice, but he is at half of his existing HP. So we're going to win this easily. And, dude, this is a fun run. I'm glad I didn't let myself get too down over the loss. Because now, as a result, we find ourselves just having a lot of fun on this run. Till our daddy takes the Polaroid away. Fun, fun, till our daddy takes the... Shielded Tears actually is doing a great job of protecting us as well. At this point, I'm like, I want the invincibility so I can maximize my damage output, but... yeah, whatever. Creep. See if I care. So now we've got Lilith. Delirium. But I will say, I think I'm probably going to do an Eden run next. The reason being... I don't want to do 2 Delirium runs in a row because I find them kind of tedious. We did Boss Rush, Hush, and Delirium on this one, and they all went very well. However, I want to refresh a little bit, you know, keep my morale high. Sure, we could unlock the loss. I've already given you a timeline for that, though. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. Let's see what we've unlocked here. It is King Baby. Right, useless. Hive Baby, also useless. Wait, King Baby's not useless. That's a real item. But it's not very useful. Either way, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want some more of the video. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.